Hello everybody, it is Nicole with A-Frayed-Knot hopping back on again to paint with you guys. So if you seen my live earlier, then you've seen all about what is available for July 1st. This is the bundle right here. I talked all about it earlier. It is available from the 1st through the 5th. It is the best deal where you will get the paint and all three of the surfaces. The surfaces actually come in this wood pack that you see right here. Tonight, we're only going to use one of them. We're going to use one every Wednesday in July. And then on the last Wednesday, I will put all three of them together and make something with all three of them so that you guys will see that. But tonight, I think what I have decided to do, now, I love to use the resin castings from IOD. I have molds where I can make my own, but I have also got some of my resin castings already made from my friend Julie's website over at Julie's Designs and Signs. And I have had these ones right here. I don't have this mold myself, so these ones I got from her. I don't have all of the IOD molds, so the ones that she casts and I can get that I don't have the molds for, I'll do that. So you can actually get the surfaces in my online shop by commenting Shop AFK. If you want to look at what she has in resin castings or even molds, like if you like to make your own, and I will tell you, it is not hard at all. It is really, really easy. I walked through it step by step with the VIP club, and I think they were amazed at how easy it really is to cast your own. So I just wanted to mention that. It is really, really easy. There are lots of different, like casting mediums, I guess we'll call it, that you can use. There's clay, there is the resin. I like the quick drying resin. That is what I've come to like. And I've tried the clay, I've tried hot glue, because you can definitely use that also. It uses a lot of hot glue though, depending what mold you're using. So I just wanted to mention that because it is really, really easy. So if you see a mold that you like, don't let it intimidate you because it is totally doable. And when you buy the box of the resin, I actually over the weekend was sharing posts because the resin was on Saturday, I believe it was 40% off online at Michael's. And so I was sharing that just so y'all would know. I actually ordered a box of it, and then to avoid paying shipping, I just went to the store and picked it up because the store's not that far from here. So anyways, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. So I am actually going to use one of these guys tonight. So if you comment IOD and you go check out what she has these ones on there. So let me show you what these ones come with in case you were wondering. So all of these little resin castings you see right here, they come with. So it comes with the little girl. She's super cute. And one of the reasons I love these so well is because they have so much texture to them. And when you paint them, you can pull all of that out. They're really a lot of fun to paint. Not just these ones, but any of the castings. And sorry, I heard a noise. What is that? Sounds like someone's doing some work down the street, but it just sounded like a lot of buzzing. So here is the boy, and you can see his sweater is like a cable knit. Do you see that? So stinking cute. And then it's almost like a family. So I guess we could say that's the mom and dad, and here's the kids. The little girl with the bow on her head. How cute. And then the little boy with his like overalls in the pocket there in the front. That's precious also. I'm actually kind of on the fence with which one I want to use now because I like this little girl. She is so sweet. So sweet. I think I'll stick with one of the bigger ones because this would be a very cute ornament. I actually think this would be a really cute ornament. And then, okay, so I got sidetracked. And then it comes with the little Scotty dog, and he has a little cable knit sweater on. It also comes, I didn't pull it out, but it comes with two peppermint looking candies. This one right here, and then another one that looks like it is wrapped up. So it's kind of like a long little bar and the ends look like wrapped, like it's a candy wrapper. I guess I didn't pull that one out, but that's part of it. And then a candy cane. And I might use the candy cane with either the little boy or the little girl. I haven't decided. Let me look right here. Well, we're not using the smallest one. We're using the bigger gingerbread here. I think we'll go with this guy right here. Oh, but then I can't, I'm kind of like on the fence because I'm trying to think, and then I'm going to incorporate some of the colors from the paint pack. So maybe we'll go with the girl because we'll use the pink, and I'm also going to use, so that's carnation. I'm also going to use, let me think here. Maybe for their gingerbread color, I think I'll try Rusty Bell. We'll go with Rusty Bell. And then I'm going to use vintage lace over the top of it. So we're going to see what that's going to look like. And I think for our surface here, I'm going to paint the surface in vintage lace. And I think we'll go ahead and use this stencil right here, which is called French Script. I talked about this in the other live. This is from Essential Stencil, and I'm not sure if you guys grabbed this one. I'm not even sure if it's still available, but you can comment stencil and go check it out. This is called French Script. These are the types that I like to use on backgrounds, and I'm actually going to do that tonight so you can kind of see what I mean when I talk about that. So here it is. I'm looking for a palette. Let's go ahead and get started with our painting. Let me pull our live up so I can see y'all, because I see you guys hopping on. I just don't have any comments. There we go. I did try to remember to send out a, hey, I'm going live in a minute to the broadcast channel. So hopefully that worked. Okay, I'm just pulling our live up. Sorry, it's taking a moment. Uno momento. Okay, there we go. Ah, there y'all are. All right, now I see you. Do you have a coupon code for the molds? Nope, not for the molds, Karen. Nope. Sorry about that. Let's see. Hey, Erin. Hello, Vicky. Hi, May. Hello, Kitty. Okay, good. Thank you for joining me tonight, everybody. Oh, that would have been great, Erin. Yes. That would have been really good. To be honest, I don't even know what any of those words say. I'm sure it's all in French. I have no idea what they say, but if they did a script like that in the Pledge Allegiance, that would have been really cool. Is that a Pledge Allegiance stencil? I actually have something I made up on my shelf. I made it, I don't know, several years ago. But I think it is the Pledge of Allegiance. I think Essential Stencil had one of those. It just wasn't a script writing. Okay. So let me see if I already have. I do. I already have a vintage lace open, so I'm not going to open a brand new one. And then these two I'll save for the next time we craft together. Okay. Well, the next Wednesday, actually. So next Wednesday for Wood Pack Wednesday, we'll be doing another surface. So that is the plan for our Wednesdays. You could actually do this double-sided. I don't think I would put the boy gingerbread on the back side of this. That's just me. I would probably take another one of these surfaces just like this and make another one. So I'd have two side by side and use them as ornaments. I think that would be adorable. There's a big old crow back there. Can you guys hear him? I don't know what he's doing. He's crowing, making his crow noises. Okay, there's our surface. And let's see. I'm gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna give her a sand, and then take our script stencil and hey Barb, how are you? And stencil on it with the script. Oh yay, Trula, thank you. I'm glad that you received that. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Good. I'm glad to know. Hello, Melissa. Good evening. Hi, Katrina. Oh, they have one for a porch leaner. I'm sure I've seen that. I'm just drawing a blank. All right, I'm going to get a couple of brushes here. Let's see. I'm going to start with, hold on. Hold, please. Try to decide. We'll use this one. I am going to use Rusty Bell for these parts right here. So the head, the hands, and then down here like on the legs, because that would be like the gingerbread color. I feel like Rusty Bell is pretty close to a gingerbread color. And I'll say this, if you like to make like an old-fashioned vintage looking gingerbread, which we could easily turn this into like an old-fashioned gingerbread, kind of vintage looking, I would probably use Fudgesicle. Now this is just my opinion, but I feel like those old-fashioned vintage looking gingerbread tend to be darker. Now that's just my opinion. I'm sure there are light ones also, but I just always visualize or have seen them like darker. So I like to use Fudgesicle for that. Now, even on this little Gingy's face, I'm going to hold it up so you can kind of see. There's texture here on her face. So what we're going to end up doing is layering some paint on here and pulling some of that out. I don't know if you can see that texture because the paint is still a little bit wet, so it might be hard to see. Okay, and then we're going to do the hands. I'm only going to put one coat simply because I'll paint those little pearls. I don't know what color I'm going to paint them. Maybe in the Refabulous color. This way I can come back and touch it up a little bit if I need to. Okay. So I'm going to leave that right there. I feel like a mosquito bit me. A little itchy. Let me see. I've got to make sure if I have a Refabulous out already. Yes, let's see. This one, make sure. See if it's empty. Okay, I still got a little bit in here. And then I've got a little bit of carnation in here still, and we're going to use carnation. So what I'm doing right now, the paint kind of, it gets, because the eyes have so much of an indentation to them, because there's a lot of texture in there that kind of sinks down in, and the paint will sort of gather in there and be almost like a puddle. So what I did was just take my brush, which is pretty dry, and kind of get in there and soak some of that out, because this way it's not going to take as long to dry, and I'll probably go back and touch it up a little bit. But first, what I want to do is just take a little bit of this Tiffany and kind of paint it on these little pearls right here. And then I'll go back over and touch that up. So cute. That's really the only little bit of pearls. The rest of it is her dress. So I'm thinking I'll just leave it at that, and we'll paint her dress. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more to the head. Okay. I'll leave this brush just in case I need to touch that up, and then we'll go ahead and add some pink. This is Carnation. I'm just being very careful to get like down in. I got a little bit of pink on the Refabulous color, so I could touch that up as soon as we're all done. But it's so cute. It's just pulling out so much detail that you can see all of that. And I love that. Definitely have to touch that up. Okay, so she's looking good. I'm just going to touch up a couple of little spots here. All right, now I'm gonna, let's see. I don't know, I just feel like there needs to be a little bit more color. I'm gonna leave that just for now before I go adding anything else to it. And let's see, we'll use this one. So we're gonna let her dry for just a little bit. And we're gonna sand this one. Hey, Linda. Oh, thank you, Gail. Yes, I agree 100%. It goes on very, very nicely, especially on these castings. If you don't have a paint that has a good consistency to it, it can go on this type of stuff. This is where chalk paint is really good. I'm not just, you know, hyping it up because it's my paint, but this is where a good chalk paint comes in handy, is on different things like these, or like a metal surface. Like, for example, I don't think you can see it and it's way up there, but like Dollar Tree sells, you know, different type of, let me get my mosquito spray. I don't know if they're still biting me, but I got to spray something. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the spray, the paint, the consistency of it and a chalk paint sticks the best to things aside from wood. Just your regular old craft paints, sometimes you may find they don't stick to things very well. Like wood and laser cut things, because generally it's cut out of a form of wood, a type of wood, MDF something. The craft paints from the store are going to stick okay to those. They just might be watery and you need a lot of coats to have a good coverage. But with my chalk paint in particular, the coverage is amazing, and it is a chalk paint, so it's going to stick to just about anything. So that's just that's just my 2 cents on that, my opinion. I love it. It goes on very nicely. So I'm going to sand this. I just wanted to get a little bit of a distressing on it. You almost can't even see it, but it's there. And then I want to take, let me see here. This one actually came with a smaller script also. So I'm going to pull that one out and just take a look at it, because we don't need the whole thing. We just need a little bit. And that's pretty cool. I like that. So let me see here. I think we'll use that, and then I can kind of come on down and do another line. Let's see here. Yeah, I can add one more line. Sometimes also I like to just do like a little bit here, a little bit here, and then we're going to do that. We're just going to do, let me show you. And let's see, let's use, I'll use Crazy Crow. Okay, so we're gonna need something to offload. And I've got my Crazy Crow, so I'm just gonna offload as much as I can. And then we're just going to just do a little. And then just kind of fade it out, just like that. And then we'll move down here. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Hold on. I just thought of something different. So I'm gonna just kind of fade this a little bit. And then just like that, really, really light. These ones will be a little bit darker. Real light right there. And then I'm gonna move this real light and move this down here like so. Okay. All right, so you can kind of see what that looks like. I like that, but I'm definitely going to come back and sand it a little bit, because when I sand over it, it almost makes it look like it's part of the painting in the wood and not just something I stenciled on the top of it. You think you might croak. Barb, you're funny, but you're doing good. Oh, Erin, that is awesome. I love that. Yay. Thank you for letting me know. Oh my goodness. Prudence. That's crazy. I hope that you are staying hydrated and safe. Just safe, because, you know, sometimes when it gets like that, it's so easy to get dehydrated. All right, I'm going to sand it a little bit more. Okay, so you could see how it just kind of embeds in there. That's the only way I really know how to describe it, and I like that. And then I'm going to take our Distressed Oxide and just kind of go over the edges a little bit more. Okay. Now let's see how she's doing. We're going to make sure she's dry. And then we're going to take our Vintage Lace color. I could definitely use Crazy Crow if I wanted to, but I want to try Vintage Lace and see what it looks like with the white layered over her. Well, it's more of like an antique white. That's what Vintage Lace looks like. And see what that looks like layered over her. And then we'll go from there. And the majority of the colors I'm using are from the July Paint Pack. Rusty Bell and Crazy Crow are not in the July Paint Pack, but the rest of the colors I've been using are. Okay, so what we want to do is get the paint. It looks like we're ruining her, but we're just getting the paint all down in there in all of those grooves. And then I'm going to come back with the baby wipe and wipe her back. It almost looks like icing. And she starts to come to life. And I just do a little bit at a time because you don't want the paint to dry. You don't want this top layer of paint to dry. And if you do like I just did, if you wipe too hard, you'll wipe through. So I'm going to have to go back and fix that. But that's a good opportunity to show you how to fix it. All right, so all I would simply do to fix that, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it because I put the vintage lace, but right here I wiped too hard, so I just wiped all the way to the bottom. You just have to lightly wipe. You don't want to be too heavy-handed like I was. So all I have to do is just kind of go over this. But if you end up finding that you have put too much of like this vintage lace color I'm using, you could just come right back over it, just like this, and add more paint to it just to cover it up. That's perfectly fine, just so you know. All right, so we just want to make sure that that dries. In the meantime, what we can do is go ahead and work on her legs. And then something too to keep in mind, once your baby wipe starts to get really saturated with paint, you're going to want to switch it. Otherwise, you're just going to be kind of rubbing around the same color. So for example, there is the vintage lace. I can keep just wiping that on because that's what's on this baby wipe is the vintage lace. I got a little bit of Crazy Crow on there. I just want to make sure to get that off. Oh, the mosquitoes are terrible. I don't typically get bit by them either, but tonight I did. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Oh, uh-oh. Same here. See how I got vintage lace on there? Didn't even know it. I can just come in with my, because it's dry, so it dried and I can't wipe it back and it's too much. I want to be able to wipe it. So I can just come in with my Rusty Bell and just add right over the top of it. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and work on, oh, wrong color. Work on adding some more. Oh, you know what I realized? I've just messed up all the way around tonight. That's all I've been doing, just messing up. Okay. I need to add, I left the vintage lace because I was showing you how to fix a little mistake. So what I realized is I left the vintage lace on my little pearls here too long. So what I did is I just added a little bit more. I might as well leave this out in case I need it. Refabulous right on top of them. Oh, just I got more paint. I'm on the Hot Mess Express tonight. Tell you what. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's just do a little tiny bit at a time, shall we? I'll wipe really lightly. so I'm just wiping real lightly so that this way we'll still see some of our color. And if it seems to be too much of the vintage lace for you, all you have to do, I'll show you exactly all you have to do. We could take, this is our brush that we have with the carnation color, and then we could just kind of dry brush a little bit of it on here if you want to see more pink. You see how I just added a little bit more pink, which is carnation. If you want to see more of that, that's all you have to do, is just go back in and add it. And then if you want to see, you're like, well, I do like a little bit of the vintage lace, you can kind of just layer it. Just play around with the layering. That's all you have to do. And then I like how the vintage lace is kind of in the shadowed areas there. I personally like the way that looks. Let me dry her hand a little bit so we can finish that off. And if you want to add, like, you see how it's real heavy right there with the vintage lace. If you wanted to come in and just add a little bit of this, you can. And it looks a little odd just because it kind of looks so bright. You see that? It sort of stands out. But as soon as it dries, we can kind of buff in a little bit of the vintage lace. And then you'll see how I'm just going to kind of add just a smidge right there and then come back and wipe it back a little. She is so cute, super cute. I realized that I was going to do one of these, which is a candy cane. Now, I realize candy canes aren't necessarily pink, but I thought it would be cute. And then there's a lot of texture in that. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but we're going to let that dry and then we'll come back with the vintage lace color. I'm gonna leave those out just for now. I think what we'll do is I pulled out these letters right here from this pack that I get from Hobby Lobby, from the wood pile. It's called Wooden Letters. That's what it's called. That's all. So we're going to paint those up. I pulled out to spell the word joy. Okay, I'm just use one of these. I think that'll be the easiest. And I think I'll use the color Refabulous. Delilah. Hey, Martha. Linda, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate that. Okay, I just kind of just grunged it up a little bit. And then what I want to do is take, let's see, I need to get another baby wipe. I just really want to make sure I get down in those crevices. Because then what happens is the vintage lace color stays behind in the crevices, and that's where you start to see the candy cane transformation. And I love that. There's nothing worse than hearing mosquitoes buzzing around by your ears. Okay, I think we got everything painted. But you know what I want to do? I could potentially regret it, but we'll see. I'm going to take the cottage green color. I don't know. We're just going to try it, see what happens. And just see what it looks like dry brushed across this. I actually really like it. I do. Okay. I'm going to show you in just a second. It just almost is like a bit of a grunged look, a slight patina to it. And all I did was just take this brush and just lightly dry brush over that. I like it. I think it looks good. So I just slightly dry brushed over it. I didn't wipe it back or anything with a baby wipe. It just gives it kind of a, like a grunge almost, like a slight patina. Oh yes, there is, Jenna, there is a new paint pack. And if you comment shop AFK, I'll DM the link to the homepage of the online shop. Scroll down towards the bottom and the new paint pack is right there. You know what I didn't do? Let me see. I did not pin this bundle, and I meant to for you guys, with the wood pack. Let's see. And but yes, I did post it. I went live earlier and talked about it, shared it, showed it, all the things. But right now I just pinned the wood pack that I'm using and the paint pack are bundled together. That's what I actually pinned. Okay, let's see here. Let me see if it comes through. Actually, I haven't pinned it yet. I just dropped it in the comments, so I don't know if you guys can see it. There it is. Okay. Okay, I just pinned it now. So that is for the bundle that's available. All right, let's lay her on here. And then her little candy cane. I don't know if you guys, let me get a little closer so you can see this process. There we go. So you can see that a little bit better. Oops. Her candy cane is going to go right there. Once I'm able to get it glued, it'll stay. I don't really want to glue it onto her hand because it has more of a chance of falling off. It has a better chance if I put that right there. And then I want to put her feet I want to put her just high enough that these letters will fit right here. Let's see. There. She's a cutie patootie. All right, let's see. So I think I'll start with the O. That's going to be my easiest thing to get glued down first because I can use this part of the surface as my center and then put the other ones on accordingly. And then I'll put her on. Okay. I just always like using the word joy. It just makes me happy. We all need joy. Her name could be Joy. And then I could eventually get another surface just like this and then paint him. And his name could be Gingy. Joy and Gingy. Oh, no worries, Jenna, and I hope you feel better. If that link didn't make it through to you, do it all one word. All one word, and then it'll make it through. Okay, now we can secure her down. My letters are a smidge crooked, but that's okay. Okay, I'm just going to try to get her secured down without messing up her paint. Oh, maybe not. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna have to get some more of that. Let's see here. There we go. I just wasn't using enough. Go figure. I usually use way too much glue and I just didn't use enough. No, Diane, there's no discount code for Julie's Designs and Signs. Okay, here's what she's looking like so far. She's cute. I love her. Let's see here. I'm thinking, at first I was thinking about just putting like because I like this. I think we will. I think we're going to use this. I'm just going to drill a couple holes here and then push this through. I'll show you. This is actually a perfect length. Let's see. I think this one might be big enough. We're going to try it and see. I should have drilled the hole first, but I wasn't thinking. Let's see if that's big enough. Okay, what I want to do is poke it through. So I'll probably use a little piece of wire. The wire usually helps me in these kind of situations, just to poke something through. Perfect. Yep, that was the perfect size. And then we'll do that on this side. And you could definitely use wire also. I just like the way that this hanger looks right here. And I could tie it off up here at the top and then let that hang. You see how I could tie it off like that and then let it hang. Oh, goodness. Well, that's not gonna work for me. Let's see here. Oh, now she's got glue on her. Let's see here. I'm gonna need to probably get a clamp involved here, so give me 1 second. Alrighty, back to the drawing board. smaller clamps, because I'd really like to clamp her hands down too. Well, that's not going to work because I don't know where they're at right now, and I don't want you guys to have to wait for me while I'm looking all over for them. So let's see here. We will just go ahead and tie this off. Okay, so I think that looks long enough. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I realize the clamps are in the way, but what I'm going to do is try to tie this off in a knot. And I'll go ahead and start at the very end here. And just kind of bring it down to the end so that we have this. And then I can always trim that. And then we do this as long as we want it, which I think I decided that looked good. And then we'll bring the knot to about right there. And then we can trim that also. Okay, so we'll leave those clamped for a second, and then I'll take them off and kind of hold it up so you can see her. Thank you, Vicki, for the stars. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for all of the stars, ladies. Thank you, Gail. I love the colors in this paint pack too. They are very fun. And you can definitely use them for Christmas if you like those colors for Christmas, or just, I mean, I know spring is past, but they're great pastel colors also for spring or even just summer. I just love these colors together. And you can see how I did. You can kind of antique them up a little bit and still have some of that bright and fun color, yet make it kind of antiqued, you know? Perfect. I think we finally got her secured. Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like that way. Let's trim this. Okay. She's fun. She's super fun, and you can definitely go with just like traditional colors if you don't like the kind of Candyland colored theme. I like that, but I think she's cute. Super cute, fun and easy. Just a fun way to make an ornament, basically. I would use this as an ornament. I do my kitchen in gingerbread, so I have a garland above my window, and it would look very cute on there. I could do something like this with each and every one of them if I wanted to, and maybe go a little bit smaller for the smaller ones and have like the whole family. That would be very cute. So anyhow, that is it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Delilah. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight and painting. See how you can kind of do it double-sided. You could put something back here if you like, maybe like Valentine's or something. I know her candy cane kind of sticks out. You could maneuver that, or, you know, just don't pay it no attention. But anyway, there she is. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you, Trula. So that is all. Let's see. Today is, well, I will not be live anymore this week. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your, I paused for a second because I was thinking of a couple of things, and I got a couple things I got to finish. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and have a fantastic and safe 4th of July and a happy 250 to America. Keep an eye out on your emails on Saturday because I have a special something coming on Saturday for you guys. So make sure to keep an eye out for those emails. And if you're not signed up for my email, just comment email and I will send you the link so you can get signed up. You're not going to want to miss it. So anyway, that's all. Enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you so much for being here with me. Happy 4th of July. And I will see you guys soon. Make sure to follow along in my stories because I usually do put like behind the scenes stuff in there, especially from the weekend and whatnot. So, well, not the show, whatnot, but you know what I mean. So anyway, you guys, I will see you soon. Bye for now.